Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor. I don't exactly know how this video is gonna go, but I just wrapped up a pretty cool kind of 24-hour adventure here out just south of Joshua Tree National Park and some of the BLM, Bureau of Land Management land, as well as riding through Joshua Tree, and just wrapped up the day, about 250 miles of hard riding on the 2023 Honda CRF300L Rally. Whew, I am seriously impressed by this machine. I hate using the cliche of it's kind of a jack of all trades, because I think it's more than that. It's almost like a queen of off-road and maybe only a 8 or 9 of on-road. But what it did allow me to do is ride the entire day and do some pretty serious off-roading, some adventuring, some highway cruising, some ripping around these canyons, Box Canyon Road here, south of US 10 or I-10, I guess it would be, the 10 freeway, coming through the desert here. And the beating it took was remarkable. I mean, I pushed this thing hard. I'll be dropping a little bit of footage in here, and the suspension is soft. You definitely have to stand on it, use your legs, and compensate for that. But what it does is it kind of allows a springboard of anyone who's not sure what sort of rider they're going to be and what sort of riding they're going to do. It kind of allows you to explore all of your options and then curate the bike for what you want to do. Maybe improve the suspension, maybe change the gearing, add more wind protection or warmers or anything like that. Or it'll kind of tell you which bike you should jump up to, because obviously you've got larger, more adventure style bikes. Honda's got the Transalp now. There's always the Africa Twin. There's tons of other bikes from other manufacturers. So you can go heavier and a little bit more road comfort. You can go a little bit more dual sport oriented. You could do more of the like KTM's bikes and have much better suspension, higher power and everything. You could even go to the CRF300L and have more power and suspension capability from Honda. But it allows you to at least do all of the things and decide which route you want to go, and I think it's pretty cool at that. Also, I think the rally package is kind of a must for this bike. I don't really see much of the point in just getting the normal CRF300L. I think if you're going to do that, you might as well be riding more off-road trails regularly, and then you'd be better off probably getting the Kawasaki with a better stock suspension right off the bat. But the Rally, it's got a 3.4 gallon tank, so it's larger than most 300 class dual sport tanks. And that allowed me to do a lot of riding today that I wouldn't have been able to do with the normal size tank. I had this thing less than a gallon left. It was on its flashing emergency fuel light, which I know Alyssa wouldn't appreciate, but the Rally package allowed me to do a lot of exploring and not be tethered so much to the gas stations, because there aren't a ton of them out here. Not only that, but the windshield allowed me to cruise in these colder temps. It actually was colder tonight, or even today, than I realized it was going to be, because going in that direction, it was an altitude increase. The temperature dropped about 5 to 10 degrees from where I am here, even in the morning. So I was pretty chilly. I was really appreciating having the handguards from the factory and then having that factory windshield. I will say that if you're about 5'10" like I am, at least with my inseam, you get a lot of buffeting from this windshield, so wearing earplugs is kind of a must for me with this bike. But man, I'm happy, I'm impressed, and oddly enough, I am more comfortable after I think about 6-7 hours of riding on this stock seat than I was with more of the comfortable seats on the touring bikes that I've been on. I think it's because I was moving around so much on it. So big kudos to the CRF300L Rally. I'm going to have a full breakdown of the bike, a full review of it. Maybe some of this will make it into the review. Some of it will be redundant, but I just wanted to at least point that out in kind of this lifestyle-y video, because it goes with the whole package. What I did was I left my Orange County home with the CRF on the back of the F350. Got this motorcycle carrier. This is a pretty basic motorcycle carrier. I actually got it on sale for Black Friday from Cycle Gear, the Cycle Gear down by my house. So it's 500-pound weight capacity, and you can see it's actually full of sand because I got the truck stuck last night. This thing was buried. It's only a rear-wheel drive truck. and I accidentally got off the road a little bit that way where the sand was super loose and buried it. So fortunately, some nice people who were camping down that way were able to pull me out with their Ram dually. So the truck got freed, and let me show you what it's looking like in here. I think, yeah, I got this locked up, so I'm gonna have to unlock it in a moment. I don't really know what locking these would really do if a thief seriously wanted to get into the back of my truck. I mean, they could easily just break these, but I feel like it's at least a moderate deterrent. So some of you may have seen the beginning video of this sort of camper build out where I installed the bed rug, which allowed kind of this carpeted material. It's a durable sort of carpet. Put that inside the truck, made it sort of a cozy base. But since then, I have built a cost-free sleeping platform. This was an interior closet door that we had at our condo, and then some, what are these, 4x4? It's a big 4x4 pole that I cut up into sections and made this bed platform. I've got a twin mattress in there, and my cooler. The gas tank doesn't stay in there while I sleep, obviously, and all the other camping essentials. And I built it just tall enough so that I could get these plastic bins to slide in and out. So I've got kind of some sleeping and comfort sort of things in there, food and supplies and all those sort of deals in that way. So it's getting dark quickly, I'm realizing, but that's kind of the camping setup. And the cool thing about this BLM land, this Bureau of Land Management land, is you can come out here and sleep and camp entirely for free. So we're just south of Joshua Tree National Park, as I mentioned, and you pretty much just drive out and find a place under the stars like this and camp and sleep. And I'm gonna be quiet for a second. Listen how peaceful it is out here. I mean, there is no noise. It is silent. We're kind of tucked in between these hills. I don't know if you'd quite call them mountains, but they practically look like it, especially if we look out that way. Switch to the higher quality cam here. I mean, it's really a fun landscape, and it's cool that you can just come out here and stay for, I think it's like up to 14 days at a time at a certain location or something, and be under the moon, nearly a full moon tonight. Look at that. So it was really a special experience last night coming out here, aside from getting stuck once I got unstuck, and came out and slept peacefully, and then went out and rode all day today. Went out through Joshua Tree National Park, and then now we're gonna head on back. So I guess this is a little bit of just kind of a plea to go and do fun things. If you're kind of an adventuring sort of person, don't let costs necessarily hold you back. This entire setup was pretty much free. Obviously I purchased the truck, and they had the topper on it and everything, and then the bed rug, but you can kind of spend more or less depending on where your comfort levels are. And I did spend a few $100s on kind of emergency sort of things, heat and kind of first aid kits that I already had and stuff. But there's just a comforter in there from our guest bed at home, and an old sleeping bag that I had. And then the CRF300L is not a crazy expensive bike. It's the type that if you can find a dealer that's willing to sell you one without markup, and it's got one in stock, you go out and pick yourself up the bike, and it's super easy to maintain and own. You don't really have to worry about reliability so much being a Honda. So y'all can probably barely see me at this point, but we're gonna wrap it up. It's just a fun adventure with the F350. Kind of that's where this is at. Maybe I'll do a little more detailed breakdown on the camper build if I add anything to it, and then obviously the full review on the CRF300L rally coming. But yeah, go out and enjoy this great earth that we've been given here, and life. Cherish it. So thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, adventure on.